So the other video got cut off. Didn't have enough space. I have enough space now, so we're good. So kind of going off of how women were not allowed to speak or teach in any capacity of the church. Was it like examples of that would be getting to preach on Sunday, getting to do communion, pass out communion to the church, whether it's also even getting to preach or teach anybody of older of children's church, which at my church, coming from a very conservative church, that was the highest that they can go as women. It was especially women's ministry, but also where it was combined with men and women, or just boys and girls, was the only highest part that they could teach at was for children. And so, my view of these interpretations are, as you can tell, I don't feel so great about, just because that's the way I grew up and the church that I grew up in. And so now getting to come here, and so something that I personally got to see when I first came here was getting to go to a church here where they had a special Sunday where they had a female missionary come and preach as the main service and the main sermon, which was I was very confused by, just because I knew I was coming to the Bible Belt, so I felt like they were going to be a lot more conservative here, especially in this state. But to find out that a lot of the churches here are very different, especially just because of the culture we're in and the culture of this city in general. And so it was cool getting to see that and getting to hear a woman preach for the first time as the main sermon. And so I thought she actually did a pretty good job. And she handled the pressure very well, and especially because the way that the way the church and the way just in general all the people, other Christians, have generalized, whenever you are teaching, you have to be that strong leader, that manly leader. But she was able to have that still leadership, or even just like the very confidence that most men would have preaching. She was able to do that as well, which makes me think especially about my home church, just because of we never had that, and I never got to see that. And then coming here and getting to go to CCO and getting to see that women also get to help out pass out offering, which was, I thought, really cool, because I was like, at my church we only have ushers do it, or either deacons, and it's like, I know there'd be a lot more, we would have a lot more help, because there was a lot of Sundays where we were shorthanded, where it's like, not everybody can always make it, not the deacons can always make it, or the ushers, so we could get more help, which women could be very useful for, and just helping, or just anybody, not even just women. And so, to kind of like summarize my view, I believe that women are able to have some teaching authorities in the church, especially in ministry, and even have some church decisions, which will also, kind of going back to some of the examples that I remember in the New Testament, was also for leadership in ministry, was the story of Phoebe in Romans, about how she was called a helper, a deacon, minister, servant, benefactor, that what Paul had called her, which was cool, because it also reminded me of the Christian background that we talked about how Jesus had been pushing cultural boundaries regarding women as their role as disciples, which is something that we all are wanting to not change, our culture boundaries, I guess, and which is hard for us Christians to change. Which there are some things that we are set on, and there's some things that could have improvement. Which I think this is one of the issues that can be changed, and I think it'd be okay. And so, kind of just to summarize that up all again, was just my view of women's role in ministry and in the church. I think that they should be able to have a lot more authority, or just a lot more opportunities to teach as well and make decisions in the church. So, okay. Thank you.